James Bond's retirement is cut short after his old pal Felix Leiter asks him for help on one more off-the-books mission in Cuba. Bond discovers that his former lover, Madeline, and the evil organization Spectre all have a common mysterious enemy. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Clubhouse Movies Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Rubalcaba, joined once again by Mr. Ayo Panetta. Today, we will be reviewing the final Daniel Craig James Bond movie, No Time to Die, directed by Cary Koji Fukuyama.
Following the events of Spectre, Bond finds himself living a life of leisure and love. A life all too similar to a time in his past which led to nothing good for our international man of mystery. Is retirement made for Bond, or is Bond made to expire? Only time will tell if he has time left to die.
There's no time to die. Or should I say, die another day.
Oh.
Or you only live twice. Wait. I don't know what he's doing.
Buttons.
Anyway, I'm going to start by saying, I am a huge fan of James Bond movies.
I could not tell.
I probably can remember most of them.
Yeah.
You know, from start to end in my brain. There were a lot of callbacks in this one.
There were, from what I can remember, and I'm not a super fan. I just enjoy these superficially.
There were a lot of callbacks, but here's the thing with this one. I really enjoyed the first half to maybe 3/4, somewhere between halfway and 3/4 in this movie.
Okay.
This movie took a dump. Like a big dump. Like
It did, man.
It's
out
like,
of nowhere. It was like instant diarrhea.
I really liked Casino Royale. I actually think Casino Royale is actually, and Daniel Craig is a really good James Bond. Casino Royale is like probably one of my favorite movies like ever.
Yeah.
And Casino Royale didn't stop with like the good train.
Yeah, man.
This movie though, like everyone said, okay guys, almost done with this movie. Good. Okay. Everyone take a
Are we feeling our age?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, slow it down. Slow pump the brakes.
I feel like this movie, I don't know, like I really wanted it to be better.
I did too, man.
Than it was.
So much better.
And I really feel like this movie kind of went Game of Thrones on me, where the ending was just so lackluster and so unearned
and so much like they sent off Fast and the Furious Paul Walker.
Not even. Dude, I need to write that one down because that was a better coda for like.
Yeah, I know. That's why I wrote it down.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get into it. We will get into it, but that is just my first.
Let's rewind.
Let's
rewind. Go back to the beginning.
The beginning. Where's the beginning? So to me, like I said, I really liked the first half at least of this movie.
Yeah, it was action packed. There was beautiful vistas.
I liked how they introduced the main villain in this movie because it was like a slasher movie where we learn because as we learned throughout the James Bond movies, Madeline, her dad is Mr. White.
Yeah, he's Madeline, not the instrument.
Yeah, or the thing or the cookie,
or the thing that slices.
Yeah, and the thing that cuts cookies or cookies. Madeline was James Bond's love interest in Spectre, right, in the last movie. But she is also the daughter of Mr. White, who was one of the head lieutenants of Spectre, which is the evil organization that has been part of this whole story. But anyway, when Madeline was a little girl, they lived apparently in some remote cabin. Right?
Yeah, right on a lake.
On a lake, and this happened. This is the very beginning of the movie. This is snowy. The lake is frozen over. And some creepy dude in like a Phantom of the Opera mask is like coming towards their cabin, and it's her mom is all like spaced out like on like wine or something, and they had to like show you that this is the 90s. They had CD players and Tamagotchis and all that stuff. And Tamagotchi is that? I never had one. It was so stupid. I like does not have like three buttons.
I had one, man.
How do you describe it? What is it? I still don't know.
There's this little digital pet that you're trying to keep alive on a schedule. It's like a pager.
It was the dumbest thing
kids.
In the world. I remember like kids be like, "Oh, it's so cool." I'm like, "Well, I have a PlayStation." And they're like, I have a PlayStation too. Why are you playing this thing? Anyway, so that was there.
I lost mine.
Yeah. I never even touched one. It was so weird.
Oh man.
It was so lame. But anyway, back to this other thing.
Yeah. So you are wholly aware that you are in the 90s in this scene.
Yeah, exactly. So this dude wearing a Phantom of the Opera mask starts coming towards them, and he kills her mom with a machine gun.
Yeah.
And then the daughter, Mandolin, the little girl, goes to like the safe room since she's the daughter of Spectre, and pulls out a gun and shoots him. Right.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing with this guy. This took place, let's say 1995, 1996.
Yeah, and if you watch Spectre, she actually details what she did.
This is the main villain of the movie, Rami Malek. Is that his name?
Rami Malek.
Rami Malek playing Safin. How old was he supposed to be?
Dude, that was my question. Like, if he's the same dude that killed her mom, it's like, did this guy just not age?
Yeah,
it's like Rami Malek is not an old-looking dude. I mean, I don't know what his age
I don't know how old he was either, and I was thinking like because I knew Rami Malek would be the bad
40.
guy.
He's not that much older than we are.
Yeah, exactly. I knew Safin would be the bad guy in this movie. Well, that means he would have been like in middle school or something when this happened.
Yeah,
because that's how old I was when Tamaguchis were around.
So I guess the story is either it feels like it's missing a giant chunk there. Like, did his family get killed when he was younger, and then he waited this entire time until he was like in his 20s? I'm assuming, or like something.
This is the best we will see this character.
Yeah,
right. And so anyway, Madeline, after he shoots him, should have double tapped him because he survived the shot.
As we find out.
Yeah, so she runs off and then falls into the frozen lake.
Yeah.
And we don't see what happens, but she's still alive in the future, so obviously Safin saved her.
Yes.
So that was nice of him because they both caused each other a lot of heartache, apparently 40 years later somehow.
Yeah.
Sometime later. I don't know. I remember thinking like, oh, this has got to be his dad, or like I didn't know what you don't know what the plot is to this movie, so I was thinking because you see
so confused.
You see the trailers, and he's like, he says, when you die, like your skills die with your body, but when I die, like mine live on. So I'm thinking like, oh, this is about immortality.
Yeah,
like he's got to live forever. Because I almost think they cut that out because.
No, it was still there. That was there. But I mean, that the story wise, because why would he even say that? Yeah, it was so weird.
It's like
it became something completely different in context. When you're watching the movie, you're like, oh, okay.
I don't know,
totally
but like
different.
I was thinking totally and then they kept on saying like throughout the movie they talk about Madeline like, oh, you don't know her secret, do you?
Yeah,
and then
freaking secrets, man.
And then Blofeld was like, you don't know her. Oh, it's gonna break your heart when you learn her secret. And then like,
dude, and I think Blofeld just got done dirty.
I think
he deserved a better death.
We'll talk about better deaths. Yeah, we'll talk about better deaths, you people. Oh my god! Like I'm just thinking about like my brain is unraveling like everything that happened.
There was so much. He actually texted me. I have so much information to go through
because I'm just thinking about it now because there's
a lot to digest, man.
When you die, James Bond has saved the world.
Multiple times.
If we just assume that Daniel Craig only lived the Daniel Craig movies, he saved the world at least 4 times.
Yeah,
like saved the world.
Dude's the best superhero ever.
Exactly, and then there's a lot of like James Bond.
And he does it by himself.
Yeah, pretty much, and he gets laid like the whole time.
And he's probably drunk most of the time.
Exactly. I've seen the dude pull out a bullet out of his chest with a knife. Come on, man! Like even
he's
that.
Like should have shaken the bullet, not stirred it.
Yeah. And then there are people who believe that like Daniel Craig, like in Casino Royale, was like the first one, but like every story happened to him, like in between, just like off camera, So he's could have theoretically saved the world 25, 26 times, however many James Bond movies there are to this point. So this guy, your skills die with your body, but mine will live on. So unless you're actually going to live forever.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap, is this?
Do you know who you're talking to?
Yeah, for real. I was like, he came out of retirement to come after you.
He came out of retirement as a favor.
Yeah.
To fuck your shit.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I guess I go kill a gay.
Yeah, he's like, what else I got to do? Another orgy? Those get boring.
He's like, have you seen my sweet Aston Martin? It's got things to do.
His Aston Martin has 2 miniguns behind the headlights.
It has 2 miniguns. It is bulletproof. It has ejectocitos.
Yeah, it's... We're not even past the first 5 minutes of the movie.
We're not.
We're not even past the first
so much.
5 minutes of this movie.
So much rage.
So anyway, we cut to, this is before the pre-credit sequence. James, just after
I'm lightheaded thinking about this.
Yeah, I'm gonna straighten Carrie here. We cut to the end of Spectre.
Yeah.
And I like this because it was James Bond putting Vesper like to rest, like because that's been his girlfriend. But this is also a quote from another James Bond movie. I forget which one it was. I think it was The Spy Who Loved Me.
You'd be the best one to find out, man.
Yeah. I think it was The Spy Who Loved Me. I'm going to go with that, but we fix it later on. But he visits. James Bond was married before in the stories, right? And then this movie actually parallels On Her Majesty's Secret Service a lot.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So Roger Moore. So On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Yeah.
James Bond got married, right?
Okay.
And at the very, very end of the movie, on their wedding day, driving away from the church, Blofeld drives up next to him with like some henchmen and shoot them down with a machine gun.
Whoa.
And she dies. Teresa Bond, his wife, Teresa Bond, dies.
Yeah.
And they play the "We have all the time in the world." That's why they keep saying "We have all the time in the world," because this is a direct callback. And they even played On Her Majesty's Secret Service like a bunch of times, like the theme to it. Even like the Incredibles, they aped the On the Majesty's Secret Service theme because they liked it so much. And if you watch the trailers to it, it was it.
I'm a huge Incredibles fan.
The theme was from On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Probably why I like it so much.
But Roger Moore, different actor who played James Bond, went back and find out when did Roger Moore leave flowers on Teresa Bond's grave. Just type that. Sequence of For Your Eyes Only. What did I say? Yeah. Was I right?
I think you're right.
Okay. So
no, you said The Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah. At the beginning at the beginning of For Your Eyes Only, Roger Moore leaves flowers on Teresa Bond's grave, who died in an earlier movie. And it was almost the exact same like filming.
Yeah.
And then Blofeld tries to kill him again, just like in this movie. Yeah. Yeah, except like so, but I liked it because it was a callback to these 70s and 60s movies, right?
Yeah.
And I also really liked how Austin Powers it was.
It was
because remember it's like here's a bomb, here's a time tick 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 tick. Like it reminded me of that scene when Dr. Evil had the girlfriend. He's like a kamikaze bride, and it blew up. Yeah. I could just hear like blow up, and then like the fight, then the chase.
Not expect that humor. That's good. There was another bit of humor in this movie too.
I really dug how 70s and how callbacky it was.
It was very gritty too.
So
I really enjoyed that.
You go, and did you notice how like deep the focus was too?
Yes.
Did you catch that?
I was like, my eyes.
Yeah. So it went from like the slasher movie introducing a new villain, okay?
Yeah.
To a super James Bondy opening sequence.
Very James Bond.
Super James Bondy, and he's like mad at like Madeline because he thinks like he turned her into Spectre.
Yeah.
And like you hear what was it? How remember next to the thing that it said like, oh, he found the ring, like, or he found like the logo of Spectre, like the octopus.
And he's
like,
right on a card.
He's like, uh-oh. And then Blofeld like called her, and he's like, good job telling me what James Bond is. And she's like, I don't know what this is. And he's like,
yeah. He's like, and then they're in a car getting all shot up, and he's just staring out into the abyss as some guys pumping rounds.
Yeah, like all the goons are shooting bullets into
Mr. Wild Eye.
Yeah, into his Bondmobile, but it's not budging because it's super bulletproof.
It's a Bondmobile.
Yeah, it's basically the Batmobile.
It's the original Aston Martin
from 1963 that he won in the card game.
Yep,
back in Casino Royale.
Yes, he did.
But anyway, that was really cool. And then eventually, like, they escape, and then he just leaves the girl on a train.
Yeah,
like, come on.
She's like, when will I see you? He's like,
never.
Like, oh.
And then they cut to the No Time to Die credit sequence, which was cool. I liked it. It was super 70s.
I hate those things.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the beginning that's where Maurice Bender, who did the first one. That's where the music video came from.
I'm just not a fan of them anymore.
They take too long. That's the thing.
That's the thing. They take too long.
It's like,
it's a long movie, so I don't need that in my life.
Yeah, you don't need like a
20-minute intro song.
Time to die.
Yeah. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah. Go Hans Zimmer. He wrote that. No time to die. Well, anyway, what the hell was I talking about? Okay, so this movie.
Yeah.
So there's they're following this Russian scientist who is developing a gene sensitive or DNA sensitive virus.
Yeah, so it can like literally attach to whomever you decide, and everyone around them will be safe.
Yeah, so it just attacks your DNA, or it attacks particular people or lineages of people.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I can see that, because parents or whatnot. But anyway, he gets abducted by Spectre.
Yep.
So something's going to happen there. So James Bond is apparently living in Haiti. It looks like he's in Haiti, right?
Is it Haiti?
I think it was Haiti.
It was like Jamaica, Haiti.
Jamaica, Haiti, Barbados, one of those one of those island countries.
He's in the Caribbean.
Yeah. And Felix Leiter from Casino Royale and some of the other movies comes and says, "Hey, you're not a spy anymore. We need you to look into some spy in Cuba." And he's with this Mormon looking guy, and they keep calling him a Mormon.
Yeah.
What's with the Mormon?
He smiles too much.
He smiles too much.
That was a character, Logan Ash.
Yeah.
He's an Ash.
So Ash is the CIA agent who's working with Felix.
Yep.
So James Bond decides to eventually go, but then like the new 007 is this what's her name?
Her name is Nomi, played by Lashana Lynch.
Yeah. She's like, "Oh, don't go to Cuba. It's not your job anymore. Like it's my job to do it." Yeah. And you know what? This was actually another callback to another James Bond movie.
Which one?
Die Another Day, starring James Bond and Halle Berry.
Right.
They both went to Cuba.
Yes, they did.
I think they should have made her the same character as Halle Berry, just to kind of
the thing, you know what? They should have just brought Halle Berry. She got kind of badass in freaking the John Wick movies, dude.
Yeah, I think they should have brought her character back here. I guess they wanted her to be the new 007, so they couldn't have her be the American version.
Yeah. I'd be like, oh, come on.
But it was definitely a callback where Halle Berry was in Cuba, as opposed to
now that I go back in my mind.
Yeah.
It is exactly that.
Yeah. So that's another callback there. But to me, this was like really good because they meet the woman there from she was in Blade Runner. For the actress's name, Paloma Ana de Armas.
Yeah.
I like, even people say like, oh, she was done dirty, she was too ditzy. But like, to me, that was like the 60s and 70s James Bond movie. He just meets a plucky young girl. He didn't sleep with her or anything like that. And she did her job. Like,
dude, she was like
kicking ass.
Yeah, I was whoa. I was like a movie with badass chicks, because you have Madeline badass shooting a guy, you have Paloma blasting dudes, and then you have female 007 also kicking ass.
Lots of ass kicking here. And the thing about it, they went to the sexy Spectre party. I don't know how James Bond expected to not get like spotted at a sexy Spectre.
Again.
He's been to like the last 3 sexy Spectre parties. But it was cool because like, what's his name? Blofeld, played by Christoph Waltz, super Dr. Evil-y.
Like he is. They never catch me now.
Exactly. They had his eyeball in a pillow. Like
it was so ridiculous. Like he had this henchman who I'm assuming had his eyeball plucked out.
Yes.
So they could put in this like other cybernetic eyeball.
So Blofeld could see everything.
Yeah, somehow, which they never explained how the hell he's able to see everything.
Yeah.
Because he is, as we know, locked up because James Bond put him there.
So he literally had a Dr. Evil plot because he knew James Bond would be there.
3 dudes holding a pillow holding his eyeball on a velvet pillow.
It was so Dr. Evil-y.
So dumb.
I liked it though. It was so stupid.
I wasn't knocking it, man. I did giggle at it going, that's an eyeball.
Yeah, so Logan Ash, he was a double agent.
Yes.
And he told Spectre that James Bond would be there. So they had that Russian scientist cook up a James Bond targeted what do you call it? The James Bond targeted DNA virus, right?
Yeah, virus, yep.
But here's the thing, though. There's another villain, apparently, who hates Spectre just as much as everybody else, right?
I think if not more.
If not more.
Yeah.
And he was the one who, I guess, got to the Russian scientist to reprogram the virus to kill Spectre Brass. So instead of James Bond being the only one who died at this party,
it was the opposite.
It was the complete opposite. Spectre, most of Spectre died at this party. And, I'm on board, with this movie.
Course.
This Spectre, is like awesome, right? And
that was a very welcome twist, by the way. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, exactly. Even when they showed in the trailers, like it didn't make sense.
I was actually confused. I was like, wait,
and
what?
you see James Bond and like everything's going bad, and then I could just imagine like Blofeld somewhere like snapping his pencil. Yeah. Like, oh my God.
He's like, God, crap, he was there.
Foiled again. But
blast these kids.
He's in this tuxedo. He's got the girl, and then there's even like, and then the one-eyed guy. He becomes a double agent against Spectre. primo Mr. Cyclops guy.
Yeah, I don't even know his name.
And it's a good thing because the Russian scientist, he's kind of goofy throughout the whole thing, right?
Yeah, his name is Valdo.
He sees Paloma and he's like, "Are you for me or am I for you?" And she's like, "Me, you?"
Yeah, like he's even confused. Like, what?
It was funny because James Bond kept knocking him out, and it was a good chase, and
like everybody kept literally kicking him in the ass.
Yeah, exactly. And then the new 007 woman, Nomi, she got into the chase of things, and then James Bond like wrecked a bunch of scaffolding or something on top of her, and then
I guess she was like so by the book that she was annoyed by that Valdo Obstronk, whatever his name is, and her and James are standing next to each other, and she's like, "Oh, he's so annoying." He's like, "What would you do?" He's like, "Shut him up."
Yeah, exactly.
She's like, "Oh, you can do that."
Yeah, she just like slapped him or something.
Yeah, I think she pistol whipped him. There we go.
And it was good, and I'm like so on board at this point.
Yeah,
and then okay, so we're going to start getting into some crazy deep spoiler territory like we always do.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about this movie is that we learned that Ash is a double agent, right?
Yep.
So which means Felix is a good guy.
Yes.
So we have a scene here where James Bond breaks away from Nomi, so he's not dealing with the British Secret Service anymore. He's doing his own thing. He's renegade, meets up with Felix and Ash on a boat. And then they're saying, well, how did Spectre know I was there? You know, obviously one of you has to be a double agent. And it was Ash, and he shoots Felix in the stomach.
Yeah, man.
And here's the thing. You know, he's like, but in all the whole time, Felix is like, I'm good. It's just a flesh wound. Or like, I'm still going to make it. And then later on, he's like, hey, man, I don't think I'm going to make this one. You better you better go. He's like, no, don't be stupid.
Man.
And then the boat's filling up with water, and then
Ash set a freaking bomb on it.
Yeah.
Like a claymore.
And he runs away with the Russian scientist, and like Felix is dying. But here's the thing. You feel bad. Like,
yeah, the whole time.
You want Felix to survive. You're following him, and then you're just thinking like, oh, this is like heartbreaking. And then like eventually the thing just explodes, and like he's just gone in the ether, like completely. Yep. And that was a good death.
That was like... His death was one of the biggest deaths.
It was one of the biggest deaths on screen in this movie.
Yeah.
In this movie. In this movie.
My earballs hurt. Yeah, it was it was something.
It was oh my God. Okay, so like I'm on board.
Jeffrey Wright got done right.
It was a good death. And you watch this movie and you think like, oh, this is like it. Like it's like
just this is the catalyst. James Bond is going to go Rambo on everybody.
Better and better and better.
Yeah.
So where were we? So anyway, so they got to talk to Blofeld, who has been in jail. They caught him in the last movie, right?
Yeah.
But
James didn't know this. Remember, James thought he was dead because he wanted him dead.
No. James Bond caught him in the last movie.
Yeah. No, I remember that.
Yeah? What are you talking about?
But he, remember, because he keeps, oh man, that would have been bad. Yeah. he keeps fighting with M, saying, you kept him alive? You kept him alive?
Well, yeah, they didn't execute him.
Yeah.
That was it, but they caught him, right?
Yeah, they caught him. He's caught.
He's caught. He's got caught. But anyway, so James Bond is, so they go to visit, but we find out that his psychiatrist is Madeline. So
what a twist.
Yeah. I thought that was a little hokey, but I was going along with it. You know,
I saw it coming a mile away, man.
Yeah, this wasn't the big twist of the movie.
Yeah.
But the big twist was Safin came back and gave her the DNA virus and made her infect Blofeld.
Yeah.
The next time so they do a Hannibal Lecter Blofeld and James Bond and Madeline, but then Madeline runs out. She's like, I can't do this. And then, then
James grabs her by the hand.
And you think that she's shocked because it's James Bond, her former lover or whatever, but it turns out that she just, in essence, assassinated Blofeld. But we don't know that yet.
Yep.
And we find out a few minutes later, but James Bond does Hannibal Lecter. He's like, you turned on Madeline because I called her, but like it was me. I was messing with you. And then he starts like choking him. He's like, "Oh, you're an asshole, Blofeld."
Yeah, like grabbing him by the trachea.
By the trachea, and then like everyone's like, "Oh, James Bond, you're out of control. What are you doing?" And then they look at Blofeld, and he's like melting.
Yeah,
he got VX gassed.
Yeah. He's the Wicked Witch of the East.
And like I'm like, okay, well I guess like Spectre's over now.
Yeah, like because at this point all of them are.
Yeah, Spectre Brass.
Melted.
Everybody's melted. Everybody had the virus. And like right here was the peak. This is the peak of the action of the movie.
Yeah,
of the action of the movie.
Unfortunately,
the movie does still peak a little more to me. Because what happens is James Bond, he goes looking for Mandolin. I'm not going to bust out Big G just yet. So I'll tell you where this movie lost me. But anyway, he goes looking for Mandolin. They're trying to figure out who this bad guy is. And he goes back to finds her at the cabin that we saw her last in the 90s.
Yep.
And he's talking to her. And then this is, I think it's got to be a Kill Bill.
Oh my God, man.
This is a Kill Bill callback. It has to be. Where James Bond is talking to Mandolin and a little girl shows up.
Yes.
And then James Bond's like...
I saw it and I was like, why is this so familiar?
Yeah. But it was good. I liked that. And then she's like, oh, she's not yours. And like...
He's like, but the eyes.
The eyes. And you see them like having breakfast together. And James Bond just like...
Yeah, he's looking at her. He's like, how's that? And she just speaks to him in French.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I was like, she's like, it's not yours. And like, to me, that's cliche, but like, it's his.
Yeah.
You just
obviously.
know it's his. And this is the peak of the movie. And it's kind of funny. I'll tell you back when I saw Casino Royale, and I'm going to get off the record. When I saw Casino Royale in the scene where James Bond had just been tortured to death,
his nards,
got his nards punished. He got out of it, and then you see him like in rehab.
Yeah,
someone pulled the fire alarm in the theater, right?
I don't remember that.
No, in the theater. It didn't happen to you. It happened to me. In the theater.
In real life.
In real life, someone pulled the fire alarm.
Dicks.
And what happened was they had to shut the whole theater down because the fire department had to come and reset it.
Yeah.
So they gave everyone free passes to see it. I had to wait a week to find out what happened to James Bond.
Oh my God.
Right? and the thing about it was there was nowhere for that movie to go. Like as a story wise. And what happened was Vesper ended up becoming a double agent, betraying him and all that stuff. So all that blew my mind. Like the entire last act or last 10 minutes or whatever of Casino Royale, nothing but ramp up. And then at the very end, she dies and Vesper dies. And it's sad because she's drowning in front of him and she won't let him save her.
Yeah.
And she's like,
for the YouTubers. That was for the YouTubers. If you guys are listening, please watch the YouTube for that.
She's just like, and then she drowns.
Yeah. I'm not laughing at her drowning. That was terrible.
A sad ass death.
Yeah.
And you see James Bond's like heartbroken after.
Yeah.
And he's heartbroken for like 4 movies.
Yeah, man. He is just like drunk the entire time.
End of this one, right? And it was like amazing that the ramp up. And it ended with just him like, the name's Bond. James Bond. That's the end of the movie. Couldn't have done it any better. And
he's cool.
Let's put the record back on. And then you know what? Now the record, let's bust out some Guinness here.
AKA, we call it Big G.
Big G.
Let's pop this bad boy.
I need a drink now. If only someone pulled the fire alarm and somehow destroyed every copy of James Bond from this point on, that'd be the end.
Dude, I would have been good with that. And this was probably an hour and like 25 minutes in, I want to say.
This is the beginning of Act 3, let's say. And it had to be Act 3. And notice how we haven't really talked a whole lot about Safin, Rami Malek's character.
Yeah.
Because he's not really in the movie.
He's not there.
That was it. That was his whole inclusion and the whole thing. And then all of a sudden we have a new Dr. Evil.
Yeah.
With a new hollowed out volcano place.
Which...
volcano. And it was so cliched and it was so weird.
And we won't hold it against you if you're watching this movie and that happens and you're just confused as to why.
Okay, so we kind of learned about his backstory.
Yeah.
Which was, I guess, he had his own evil organization with his family in this hollowed out volcano island or whatever.
Yeah, it was a missile silo.
It was a missile silo. But they were also making bombs and
they were making chemical agents or
whatever.
That's like literally all they farmed.
And Blofeld and Spectre bombed his family and took over the operation.
Yep.
And then he wanted revenge, and that's when he killed Madeline's mom.
Yep.
And then tried to kill Mr. White. Couldn't. But somehow he's...
Well, and then you have to remember, like, Madeline... So another thing to tie in him to Madeline is she shoots him, thinks he's dead. She runs out to that lake, falls through. He comes up. He has his AK. He should shoot her, but he shoots around her and pulls her out of the lake. And that's, another thing.
Yeah, he saved her. But here's the thing about
weird way.
Rami Malek. He played this character exactly like he played
Freddie Mercury.
Rami Malek played Safin exactly like he played Freddie Mercury.
Dude, as soon as I saw him, I'm like,
he had the
fake
same
teeth in there?
He got the fake, weird looking teeth, and he had like the same mannerisms. And I was almost waiting for him to be like, just
we
like,
can't do it, but if you're watching us,
I was waiting for him to go boom, 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 boom. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is like so weird now.
It's weird. It's a little comical, man.
Yeah. So we're at, and I'm trying to piece everything together because it happens like so fast and stupid. From this moment on, the movie is broken.
It is
like they had this Fabergé egg. They had this Fabergé egg, and then we meet the daughter, and like James Bond like has a daughter, and like where, I'm thinking like, oh, so James Bond like in Casino Royale, he just got tortured. How's he gonna get out of this? He has a daughter. Oh no! And then like there's still a bad guy there. What's gonna happen now? Well, I don't know. Just send some bad guys after him. They abduct the daughter and they abduct Madeline. Send them back to the evil volcano place. Okay, send James Bond and new 007 out, and then they save the day. That was it.
Oh, wait. And James Bond gives his name back.
Yeah, James Bond. Oh, do we want James Bond to be 007? Yeah, we give him 007 for this mission and this mission alone.
It's only a number.
It's only a number. What are we going to do?
And then we don't find out what her name is now. And I'm like,
exactly. What do you call it? What?
I was like, I need to know. And the thing is, you never find out. You don't even find out.
This movie lost itself here.
Yeah.
It became like the way everyone's like, what do we do? Just have them have them go to the cabin and then kidnap Madeline and her daughter and then the daughter and then have them go to the rescue. Easy as pie.
Yeah. Let's throw some salt in the wound.
That's it, man. That's really it. That's the end of the movie. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that just because it's just so bad. So Safin, he stole some of Madeline's hair. Okay, so they're gonna make some DNA bombs or whatever. So okay, fine.
And that was a weird foreshadowing scene to that too. He was playing with her hair as she showed up to interview him and all this stuff.
There was a lot of that stuff there. Rami Malek, he was just so annoying. He has the daughter and he's just like, he's like, I'm going to protect you, little girl, like, because like I don't want you to get hurt. And I'm just thinking like, what? Like, what? Why do you even care about this little girl?
Well, the thing is, not even just that. So he does all of that, and then he just lets her go. She bites him because she dropped her toy, and he's like,
the bunny. We'll get to the bunny too.
Yeah. Do you want my protection?
We'll get to the bunny because the bunny.
I remember that.
Because the bunny was also a callback, I think, but it was a good call. It almost made the movie so meta. If they,
this is new for me. So
if they just did this right,
I hope it does.
It will. But anyway, so the thing is now the Safin somehow timed all this perfectly with Blofeld's birthday, I guess, and that's what's everything on. It's just bad timing. He couldn't have waited like 6 months to like pick up on his plan. No, he did it all in like the weekend, I guess. But he was going to like viral nuke as many people as he could. If you got infected with this virus, you would infect someone who's targeted. So it's just kind of like a cascading virus, but only to people who have the DNA that it's like activated to.
Yeah.
So they were going to launch this. So James Bond and the other not 007 woman had to go to the Haldau volcano base and I don't know, save Madeline, their daughter, and then save the day. Easy as pie. Again, super easy because we do it all the freaking time.
Yeah, James Bond does it by himself. Now he's got two of himself.
Yeah, right. And not to mention Madeline kicks ass too when she can.
Yeah, give her a gun and she's pew-pewing everybody.
So there's This reminded me of the Expendables when they blew up the building.
Yeah, but it's the Expendables, man. We expect some stupidity.
We do. And I remember, like, I saw that with you, and you were like, what the hell is going on?
Dude,
like, they're just putting, like, bombs everywhere. That's what these guys were doing. They're just putting bombs everywhere. I'm like, this is just like the Expendables. This is like lame. I just remember, like, watching, like... I was so turned off, and then like he has this bad monologue with Saf, and he beats him up. And Safin's like not like a tough dude. He's not. He's like he's beating up Freddie Mercury. Stop. Yeah, like the poor guy has AIDS. Like,
I know. James Bond could easily disarm this guy, and he's like, I'm gonna break his arm off to get the gun. I'm like, dude, he didn't have that strong of a grip. Come on, and like he's you hang off a helicopter for God's sake.
He looks sickly because of what happened with him and Spectre in the past movies. And I just remember watching this thing, and I'm like,
he's whooping a cancer patient.
The guy, like, just let him be. And like, they're gonna bomb the thing.
Yeah, just drown him.
And not only that, like, that's the thing too, is like every single country around this area was ready to bomb this island.
Yeah.
There was no.
They could have just left.
There was no urgency. Like the Iron Dome that's over Israel, whatever. They just bomb any. There was no threat to me. The threat was the element of surprise, but everyone knew what was happening now by this point. Yes. By the end of this movie,
everyone around the world was like, "We're going to drop bombs if you do not move out of there."
Yeah, and
it was a contested island, I guess.
Yeah, and that and part of the mystique, the reason why Felix hired James Bond in the beginning was because the British government apparently commissioned this virus or funded it, a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Okay, but once you bomb it, nobody knows.
It's gone.
Either way, it was going to blow up. So Safin's like bitch fighting James Bond.
Dude, for real.
And he like slaps him in the face.
Yeah. And he shoots him like 3 or 4 freaking times. It's like, why'd you stop?
Yeah.
You had the upper hand. Why'd you stop?
So when he slaps him in the face, he infected James Bond with the virus. But at this point, as much as we know about this virus, is it only attacks the targeted people. Yeah. So we mentioned lineage. So it would only kill Madeline and her daughter.
Yeah. So this vial that Safin had was...
when he bitch slapped him in the face.
Yeah, when he bitch slapped him and scratched him in the face was laced with Madeline and her daughter's...
targeted
DNA.
Virus.
Yeah. So
when that happened, I thought like, oh, James Bond like just can't be with them anymore. Like,
I was like, oh, he's going to do exactly what he does.
He's going to be James Bond, and he's going to like Zoom with them like every other weekend or whatever. Yeah. Just live in Haiti and be James Bond, like,
or his like best friend dude is Q. He's going to figure out a way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Q does everything. So unbelievable.
Okay, so and then all through this, Madeline's their daughter dropped a bunny. And then like she's always, and he had the bunny like attached to his like suspenders or whatever.
Yeah, like his gun harness.
And he was like kicking ass and like doing this and that
with a bunny on his hip.
But you know what this reminded me of?
Tell me.
Nicolas Cage and Con Air. Put down the bunny,
dude.
The whole time.
I think it's the same bunny.
It probably was. Like remember it was like mossy and gross the whole time. Like, oh, James Bond is so gonna bring like back the bunny and be like what I got for you.
That bunny is money.
Yeah, exactly. And that was it. And that I thought for sure, like this is the Con Air ending, and they were going to go full circle at least with this homage to action movies, not just James Bond, but action movies. And like, and I guess it was like even though like I say like the movie lost control,
it went off the
rail.
There.
But if somehow James Bond did a James Bond and pulled it out of his ass and saved the day,
dude, I was waiting for that. I was like,
that would have made the movie
absolutely. Like it is cliche. It is totally what you're expecting of him, which if you're watching a James Bond movie, I wouldn't mind it. I'm watching a James Bond movie.
Yeah, if he because he had the watch. I was waiting for him to like pull out his watch.
Yeah, dude.
Because the watch always saves him. Yeah. Like oh, I gotta use the watch and use the magnet and like get away.
The Kaboomy watch
But no, they called the military, and then James Bond is like on the peak of the missile silo or whatever.
He's right at one of the openings of the launch bays, I guess.
And then what's her name? New 007, Nomi and Madeline and the daughter. They're just like they're at Stupid Island a few miles, about a kilometer away or whatever. Not even that far. They can't even like wave at each other. Hey. And then it's like, oh, I guess I'm not coming like out of this one. And then it's like, well, she's your daughter. Like, oh, that's great.
And he's like, I know.
And then they bomb it, and then James Bond dies.
Yeah, dude. And it's
hang on. Like this happens.
And then Those were kicks to my nads.
But it was so unceremonious.
Yeah.
It was so fast and so unearned. Why even have the bunny if he's not going to bring the bunny? If he's not going to have put down the bunny moment?
Yeah, they put all these devices in there, and you're just like, oh, damn it.
And the movie just thudded out after that with them and in M's office. Like, here's a drink.
Yeah, it's like,
to double and more like to 007.
Yeah, so they have this Scotch highball just sitting in the middle of this round table, and
you just like
you have M and Q and Nomi and Penny, Moneypenny, just literally just standing there, and the other guy was his name, Bill Tanner, Rory. He's just like right there, and they all just tap his glass, and then
the end of the greatest action hero of all time, the greatest action hero of all time, inventor of action, the greatest spy of all time,
it's freaking Bond.
Just kind of eats crap.
Who doesn't order your martini dirty, shaken, not stirred?
And
give him the chance.
And like I said, going back to this movie here, like Felix had a gut-wrenching death.
Man, and you felt it. You felt it for Bond.
I didn't feel it for Bond.
No, it was his buddy. You feel it for Felix, and then you feel it for Bond.
You feel it for Bond, the character, as it's happening. Like then, like
you're like, oh no, that's his friend.
Yeah, and to think like that happened in this same movie.
Yeah, you're like, was this another Bond movie I'm watching?
And then I started like thinking about like the great deaths of like movies. Okay. So here's the thing, like Felix like died, and that was a great death.
Yeah,
like it was sad. It broke your heart. And you think like, remember
like Gladiator?
Yeah, because I didn't even write Gladiator. Oh my God,
that was a great death.
Gladiator fought the guy, still kicked his ass while dying.
Yes, while dying.
Safin just sort of died. Did he shoot him? Like I don't even remember what the hell happened.
He got shot in the. I think shot, and he just laid face down in a puddle.
He shot Freddie Mercury. And like that was the end of it. I'm like,
no more a cappella for you, son.
Yeah, okay, so the guy had a scarred face because he got away from the factory when he was a kid. We don't even know how old he was. That's the thing.
And does this thing make him ageless or something?
Your skills die with your body, but mine will live on. What do you... And then the other thing is like they kept talking about, Madeline, you don't know her secret. When do you find out Madeline's secret?
You don't find the secret unless you're assuming it's the daughter. Which is like...
But that's not the secret. To me, to me, the secret... Like that, the way they said it is not like... If the secret was you had a daughter, by the way, Bond... You have a daughter you don't know about. Like, oh my God, really? Yeah. Like that's better than not. To me, the secret was like should have been that Madeline was like the movie's called No Time to Die.
Yes.
So I assumed that like maybe Madeline is older than we think she is.
Okay.
And so is Safin and all these people. Like, to me, like I thought like there was some sort of like these people like
because they looked a lot younger than
we move Daniel our bodies.
Daniel Craig's James Bond looked older, tired.
I would have thought that there would have been more of a sci-fi elements,
which would have been a better take on it, I think.
And that would have been the secret. But in this movie, the only secret was like she knew some weird dude. Some weird dude killed her mom.
Yeah,
I could have told. She worked for Spectre. I could have told you that some weird dude killed her mom. Oh, like I'm surprised. I'm gonna put up Fukuyama again.
Sorry, bud.
Yeah, well, I don't know. He directed it. But I think like Gladiator, like he kicked that guy's ass.
It was such a glorious death.
And he went to heaven after that.
Dude, like
he literally went to heaven.
Leonidas.
Yes, I wrote that one down too. 300,
dude. But the best death.
But I just kept thinking about like the Terminator.
Dude, thumb up, buddy.
Thumbs up. And I remember even in my head, I was thinking of the greatest.
Paul Walker, man,
Paul Walker, but Paul Walker didn't even die. That's the thing. He didn't even die, but his story is over.
Yeah.
But like remember. Vision, I just see you.
Oh,
killed by his girlfriend to save the world, and they failed,
dude. Yes,
and they failed.
And you're still going. That death was still worth it.
And how about that, Iron Man,
dude? Iron Man.
I am Iron Man, dude. James Bond couldn't pull out Safin like fighting him, and then Safin's about to die. And he goes, "Who are you anyway?" He's like, "My name's Bond." James Bond. then he pushes the button and then the thing explodes.
Yeah,
Armageddon. There's only one way to set off this bomb on this comet.
We're going to need a Snyder cut of this one.
I don't even know if we did a spy. I think they gave up.
Give it to me. I'll stick figure in the end, and I'll just freaking release it in black and white.
I just think about Armageddon, where they're like, "There's only one way to set off this bomb,
dude.
Manual." It's like
yes,
and then they draw straws, and then like Bruce was like, "Oh, this is stupid."
And he pushes him away.
Yeah, you see, he took off his patch. Make sure they get this. They get my patch.
He's like, no,
it's sad. And then like Lord of the Rings, everybody died in Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
And even like Sean Bean, he was 006. He died in Lord of the Rings, and it was sad. It was slow motion. And then like Rogue One, everybody died in Rogue One. I hated Rogue One, but I liked the ending because they saw the thing go in the sunset,
Oh, man.
Game of Thrones, a lot of good people died. I remember, and even going back to Saints of Newark, like I felt bad for him dying.
Yeah.
The main character. And then like thinking about like the subtle death. Remember No Country for Old Men?
Oh, man.
They just found him like dead. Like Josh Brolin dead. Like it was sudden because it was weird.
Dude, it's freaking
They screwed this one up.
Even Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Wars,
Mary Poppins,
yeah, Star Wars mom. You have I'm Mary Poppins, freaking dude. Like,
he was. He may have been your father, but he wasn't your daddy.
Yeah, like dude, he said that. I was like, come on,
James Bond. Just
so many things, James Bond.
I was waiting for James Bond to pull some rabbit out of his hat, literally.
Yeah.
Put down the bunny and like save because dude, they were so setting up like the Con Air ending, and then it ended them with them driving pretty much in the same street that they drove down in On Her Majesty's Secret Service where his wife died in the 60s and played the same song because they even said All the Time in the World even earlier in the movie too. But it was such a unceremonious death for the greatest action hero of all time.
And I mean, I don't know this. I didn't bother to look it up because I figured I'd ask. Did Daniel Craig play the longest James Bond? Is that
no?
Who was that?
It's got to be Roger Moore.
Roger Moore.
Yeah, Roger Moore. Roger Moore, I think, went from 71 to I think 83, maybe.
Holy cow!
But he was in a lot of movies. He was in a movie like every other year. So Daniel Craig may have been longer, or maybe even now that I think about it. But Roger Moore was in a lot of movies.
Okay. Yeah,
but
man,
but such a unceremonious death of an icon, and the thing about it is, if you have the guts to kill James Bond,
do it right, man.
Do it right, make it sad. And like I remember thinking about The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah,
they didn't have the guts to kill James Bond, same character almost, but they didn't have the guts to kill Bruce Wayne.
No, they didn't.
But if they had, that would have been a good way to die.
Which I'm hoping they do with this next one. But anyway.
Yeah. But think about it. They built a statue of Batman.
Yeah.
And he survived. To me, like, James Bond either should have survived this one or set the bomb off manual or took everyone out on his way. And
yeah, man. Just like...
The name's Bond. The last thing he should have said, the name Bond. I don't even remember what his last words were.
He was the only other man there.
I am Iron Man. And
with that, letter grades. Oh, you didn't like that unceremonious ending, huh?
Right.
Jeez. Bummerville. Anyway, before we go on a tirade, you want to start some grades?
I gave it a C+. All
right.
No Time to Die starts with an excellent first half and completely fizzles out into a copy-paste cliche mode with an uninteresting villain and lazy swan song for Daniel Craig as James Bond.
All right. Well, I gave this one a B-. I said I could have done without this movie. I feel this could have all been nipped in the bud in Spectre. I was like, well, I kind of appreciate the way Bond went out, like just literally on top. I mean, nothing that built up to that. I just said it was too much, too late for me. This would have scored higher a few years ago.
Well, I was thinking about ways it could have ended.
Yeah.
If I had written this, I would have had all the double O's come. Because there's at least 9 of them.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Because that scene...
they were like, we are Spectre.
No.
That would have been too much of a twist.
That would have been too much of a twist. But Sean Bean was 006. They should have got like maybe a DH Sean Bean just for like a couple of... Yeah. Or had his voice, with a mask on or something. Where were all the other 00s during this?
I don't know, man.
Because there have been scenes with all the 00s in conference.
Yes.
But you don't see their faces. So they should have had all the 00s come and save him.
Yeah.
So
like, come on.
All the rest of was the 8 of them.
Just called Jason Bourne.
I think he should have made it out or given him a more ceremonious death.
I think so too, man.
Because I don't know, man. Why even bother now? Because apparently
I'm done with Bond.
James
Bond has been broken.
Just sort of hanging. Yeah, right. Anyway, that has been our review of No Time to Die, starring Daniel Craig as James Bond's final episode. Remember to like, share, subscribe,
and
hit that ding.
So you get notified when we release new content.
Hit that ding to get that ring.
Ding, 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 ding.
I'm your host, Mark Rubalcaba. For Mr. Ao Panetta, that has been our hot take. We will catch you next time.